Hello and welcome to the DSP project. I'm your host Rupert Brown and I'm joined by Stuart Warren-Hill of Holotronica and also Hexstatic. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Very good. First of all, thank you very much for agreeing to come have a chat with us.
Yeah, no worries.
And showing me something incredible that I just saw earlier that we'll get to in a moment. But first of all, I want to ask you a few questions about some of your older stuff. So talking about Hexstatic. My first introduction to you guys was through Timber, which is now a fairly huge hit. Do you want to talk about how that came about? And that was with Ninja Tune, wasn't it?
Yes. I hooked up with Cold Cut, probably one of the first big chills. The big chills now is quite a big festival, but I think at the very first big chills there was like these Sunday afternoon clubs really, and I was running all the visuals side of things, and I met Matt Black from Cold Cut at those early big chills, and then ended up experimenting in Cold Cut Studio and started Hexstatic there, and I was very interested in combining music and the visuals, and I started taking video clips and chopping them up, and after a couple of years that ended up as the Timber sort of track came out of that, and got Greenpeace involved to give me some footage to play with, and then we took it to another level with the music in Cold Cut Studio, yeah, it ended up, I think I won an award for it, and it got into number 6 in the indie charts or something. So it was quite a big deal really. It was like the first sort of AV track really that sort of went into the charts, and you know, I think it's great. I mean, I think I'll get a lot of people contacting me saying it's inspired them and stuff, and it was made over 10 years ago. There wasn't very much stuff like that, so you know, it was definitely a good thing.
Yeah, it was powerful stuff when it came out. It still is, but yeah. It was definitely impressive. Now, I mean, there's so many points of your career to touch on. Working with Pioneer, you guys helped develop the sort of a DVD-based CDJ system. How did that come about, and what was your involvement?
We were doing shows using you know, laptops and tape and different formats. Robin being more the DJ. I think he was talking about ideas of using if we had a DVD, we could play with DVDs, because DVD was quite new, and actually the Pioneer took us for lunch once, basically. I don't know what year it was. It was quite a few years ago, and it was asking us about the VJ scene and where it was going and what sort of tools we had. And one of the ideas was to turn the CDJ into a DVD player, so we could then vary the pitch and scratch and cut, and you know, live using a DVD, basically a CDJ player but playing DVD. And then 2 years later, they showed us this, you know, prototype. It was amazing because, you know, that this thing evolved. So we've been using those in our show, and making our videos, and then able to DJ them, beat match our videos in live performance.
So one thing that maybe you can shed some light on that I find kind of interesting is there's now there's quite a bit of technology available for people to do video alongside with music, and to do it not easily, but probably a lot easier than it once was. Yet we still don't. I mean, I haven't really seen a big uptake as far as people doing sort of VJ DJ type acts. There's still, I mean, there's people doing it, and people who just put in like some trippy screensaver kind of stuff, but there's not that many people really going out there and nailing that, which I thought, given the technologies available to do it. Why do you think that is?
Yes, that's a good point. I mean, when I did Timber, it was still done on a 100 megahertz PC, and it just took time, and you know, it was really about my time, really about making it. And now, I mean, I think that's the next level for us, is to start using MIDI to control the graphics live. But I mean, I've been playing around with it, but to be honest, it's a bit of a craft, you know, to get the visuals to tie in with the music really well. It's not about sort of having the music start on one beat and then the video starting at the same time. Sometimes you need you know, a few frames beforehand, so it actually works and ties in properly. You know?
So it's a lot of work basically.
Yeah, it is. But the stuff I'm working with now is using real-time graphics and programming the computer to go a much deeper level with computing really, rather than relying on bits of software here and then, bolting them all together. It's getting, which is something I've wanted to do for years. And programs like Quartz Composer are allowing me to actually start programming my ideas and having much more connection with the computer and the graphics card, and be able to realise things that I couldn't really done that well before, and do it and it's much more immediate.
So can you explain to me basically how your setup works at the moment? How from start to finish, how does it? What are you using, and how does it work?
Well, totally depends. Sometimes the music will come first. Sometimes the video will come first. The Hexstatic has really been. We've been really just playing with ways of how music and visuals are interconnected. That's what I'm really interested in. So there's lots of ways you can do it. Sorry, you right there, Lucy? What's the matter? Can you go upstairs, though? I'm a bit busy at the moment. All right? You're cold? Go and put the heating on. Darling, I'm sorry, I'm a bit busy at the moment. I'll see you in a bit. Sorry, I better.
Hey, you're right.
She was putting me off a bit. She just in my eye line.
Yeah.
So, where were we?
Your current setup. You're saying it depends on. Sometimes it's visual. Sometimes music comes first.
Well, my current setup, as you can see behind me, I've been collecting analogue synthesizers. So my new project, Holotronica, is I like setting rules around a project, because then if you keep rules and you've got boundaries to keep within, it makes it actually the creative process a little bit easier, because you've got some restrictions. But the idea is to have purely analog synthesizers, but using cutting-edge real-time technology and exploring 3D and holographic technologies, combining those two together. So you've got the old and you've got the new, and as well as the audio and the visuals, the whole thing, you're marrying two things together. I think it's a really good combination. And all the music I've been inspired by, 70s and 80s and early 90s electronic music, I'm kind of retracing the steps, and then musically, and then having all the tools we have now for visuals is what people like Tangerine Dream and Kraftwerk and Jean-Michel Jarre back then would have loved to have the technology we have now visually, but they didn't, So I'm kind of retracing their steps and then putting all the cutting edge visuals into the mix, kind of thing, and doing it real time where possible, doing it and then the extra dimensions as well, which is really exciting, I think.
I mean, it seems like enough of a challenge to do a linear performance with that tight integration of music and visuals. So trying to do that and also have some sort of form of, some sort of interaction in that as well, that must be a fairly epic task.
Yeah. Well, I've been exploring the real-time route, which will allow for us to have a band on stage with the drummer triggering the visuals and the sound simultaneously. There's that, it will go that way. But problem I've got now is we're making the visuals for 3D Blu-ray. The visuals are so much better than the real-time graphics, because the real-time graphics, we're taking a big leap forward, but visually we're taking a step back because of the limitations
of the
graphic. You can't render it out for 2 or 3 days, yeah. And as you'll see on the Blu-ray 3D project, Holotronica project, the quality is almost like a film, and it's really high end, So I'm in a bit of a, so I'm not quite sure where I'm going. I don't know if we should be talking about all this really, but I don't know quite sure which way it's going now. I think that we're still waiting for the technology, I suppose, to catch up, so you can do film-like quality visuals in real time. But that's kind of what computer games companies do. Computer game companies, a lot of games we're seeing, they look fantastic.
Pretty intense,
so I'm talking to games designers and lots of different people. It's very much collaborating with lots of people to bring sort of the vision to where we're going.
And Andrew and I just watched the Holotronica, this new thing coming out on Blu-ray, and it was very impressive, very impressive. So you've got 3D sound, binaural sound happening, as well as 3D display. What do you call that? Because it's no longer. I mean, it's way outside the realms of a VJ type experience, and it's kind of, it's not something that I guess I would envision seeing in a club. It's like a sort of sit down experience. It's halfway between a movie and a music video. I mean,
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because
that?
as we're making it, and we want to release it like as the first sort of 3D Blu-ray album. So we'll have 10 tracks on there, but it is a bit like a film experience as well. Maybe it will come out in the IMAX. We'll do a launch at the IMAX, for instance, so people will sit there and just be immersed. But with the sound is being mixed in 3D60. There's a company called 3D60 who we're working with, and the visuals, I'm collaborating with a guy called Tom Wall from Blinking Lab, who does visuals. He's been doing visuals for Left Field and Pendulum recently, and together we're taking my ideas, and he's just taking it up to a whole new level for the Blu-ray and in 3D. And it's the first time we've done it. And as you saw the results for the first single, the Sentinel single, I'm very happy with, because it's really sort of getting up to a quality that I really wanted to get to for a long, long time. It's kind of been my vision for about 25 years, having this sort of immersive 3D, the visuals kind of almost being around you and having the sound around you. So I'm just pulling all these different people in to make this product that, as you say, is like a new format in a way. And I'm and also the music industry isn't really set up for it as well. So we're kind of creating a whole new genre and trying to fit into like a square into a round hole kind of thing at the moment. How you release it? Is it an album? Is it a DVD film? It's interesting.